Hello, welcome to our next session of our course on marketing management part 1. As you would recall, yesterday we concluded with this particular slide. We are discussing positioning, and the core idea that we had explained in this particular slide are, the core ideas are that positioning follows a sequence of activities. It ends with ing. So, as you can understand that it is all about doing, formulating and implementation. So, you select target customers, you look at the competition, and you understand that the current offerings in the marketplace for those target customers are proposing XYZ MNOP values. You then design a distinctive package of values that differentiates your products and services, your offerings, from those available from the competitors, and then you create a web of reasoning, weave support from different dimensions, from different constituencies for the distinctive value propositions that you have created. So, positioning is in the minds of the consumers, and obviously therefore positioning cannot succeed unless it is manifested in terms of availability across the distribution chain. And depending on the kind of positioning, whether you are looking for an exotic or a boutique positioning or a mass positioning, you will have to decide different types of distribution strategies and different types of roles that your products and services will be playing in the life of your targeted customers and so on. So, positioning therefore is very closely linked to your competitors and those customers you are competing for. Sometimes positioning is very direct, positioning can also be subtle, can be indirect. Positioning can appeal to the logical part of the consumer behavior, or in a very subliminal fashion it can appeal to the emotional triggers of consumers' buying behavior. So, the targeted customers can be addressed very obviously in the promotion scheme in certain types of positioning, but when you are actually trying to position your products or services to appeal to the higher levels of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, your positioning can become more and more subtle. So, at the higher level, values oriented, emotion oriented, spirit oriented points become accentuated, but usually in a very understated fashion. So, the style of positioning can change according to the type of customers as well as the response to the competitors. There is no hard and fast rule here. Sometimes in a market segment where competitors have positioned in a very I would say in the face position, the competitors announcements are rather loud, one can come with some subtle value proposition, distinctiveness which is understated, delivered in a very sophisticated fashion. But it will depend, of course, will depend on the cultural dimensions and the buying frequency of that product. So, in specialty products like say perfumes, certain types of cosmetics can be both types of positioning can be valued. In one case your positioning can be based on sort of an eternal appeal of malehood or womanhood. On the other side, it can be something positioning can also be very bold, brash with respect to cleanliness or with respect to allure and so on. So, positioning ultimately must understand that what you intend to do with the position is less important compared to what appears in customer's mind. So, positioning is therefore always to be understood in terms of the mental model of the consumer. So, for example, I am moving into little bit institutional or B2B positioning issues. I will expand on it in a little while. But take for example, the positioning of this company Cemex, very famous. It proposes to provide ready to use concrete to builders at the site. They have special equipment on trucks which enables them to provide ready to use concrete mix right at the construction site. So, their whole value proposition is to the site managers, to the constructors, to the schedule keepers in terms of timeliness. In terms of minutes as opposed to hours, and they use technology, they use on their truck like GPS or very special type of churnas, rotators, very special types of delivery mechanisms, and their whole setup on the truck, it itself creates a positioning in the business customer's mind of time, efficiency, sophistication, technological competence and so on. So, you can see here the positioning is not only the delivery of concrete, but also in terms of the total image that the company projects. So, in a way positioning is very close to brand. In fact, positioning is the foundation of the brand image, and positioning as in conclusion therefore, it depends on customer targets, competition, delivers the promise based on and impression to create sort of faith and confidence in the value proposition that you want to project. Very important point is that positioning has detailed implication for all the different elements in the properties facing the customer, the marketing mix that reach out to the customer. So, in price, in advertising, in distribution, in the entire marketing activity, positioning puts its imprint. Positioning also in many ways guides our research and development, it influences our supply chain strategy, it influences our operations and quality objectives. So, positioning to be successful therefore must be supported by both the frontline activities as well as the backstage activities of an organization. So, positioning influences marketing, positioning influences operations, positioning in a way also influences our finance strategy, our investment strategy and so on. As we will see in our part 2 and part 3 of this particular course, that positioning ultimately gets implemented through the marketing mix, the nature of the product, the price, the promotion, the distribution and so on. And positioning to be successful must be integrated with the entire organization with a systems perspective. So, positioning is even more challenging when a company addresses multiple segments. So, for example, today Lux is addressing mass market of institutional use, say for example, in hotels in small sizes, low price point. Lux is addressing the aspirational market in semi-urban and rural markets, but Lux also appeals to the premium market. And so, you can see here that with the same brand, here the attempt is for addressing multiple segments, multiple types of buyers, multiple price points, multiple styles of marketing. For FMCG companies or various kinds of consumer durable companies, this whole management of multiple price points, multiple positions for multiple market segments is a complex affair which must be carefully crafted, so that ultimately the total revenue gets maximized with the best possible return on sales. I would request you to look at the marketing strategy of major FMCG companies like Hindustan Unilever or Procter and Gamble or Reckitt Benckiser and or Colgate Palmolive, and see how they project soaps of different types or with the same name in different price categories, the way they handle detergents in various formats, bars, powder, for various purposes, for washing machine, for tumbler use, bucket cleaning versus machine cleaning. small packs versus big packs, high end detergents with various kinds of additives. Observe how they project the value proposition. Observe how they manage multiple types of promotions. Observe how in the store these products are displayed. Observe that there are stores where all the ranges may be available, there are stores where only few of the total offerings will be available from the same company, and try to understand the challenges that you see here on this screen for managing multi-segment strategy. And it is important to understand that sometimes this straddling across different market segments can go very wrong, can create cannibalization. One set of products may eat into the sales of the other set of products from your own catalog. Sometimes this is done deliberately when you are phasing out one set of products and phasing in another set of product. That time the cannibalization may be deliberate and part of the strategy, but sometimes it can be inadvertent, created due to wrong positioning. Try to look for examples of successful multi-segment positioning and try to look for problems created due to ineffective multi-segment positioning, whether it is due to sales people problems or due to lack of distributor training, and create discussions on the forum which will allow us to input some further learnings once you have articulated your initial observations. So, I look forward to your comments with respect to positioning, particularly multi-segment positioning in the coming days on the forum. Thank you.